Call the meeting to order, please, if you're ready, Kay. Or to
Okay.
call attendance, rather.
Where am I here? I'm sorry, I'm unorganized
that's okay.
this morning. All right. Thank you. Bob Corvus,
Here.
Lou Ennisser,
Here.
Kay Mikely is here, Sean Dryer,
Here.
and Dee Monroe. Here. And Kendall is still on sabbatical. Peter Falcone, our committee liaison, is here. May we have the approval of the minutes?
Any comment, anybody? Somebody want
Move
to
to,
move to approve them?
I move to approve them.
Second?
I second them.
Okay,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
any audience comments? I guess we have none.
No audience comments, okay. Let's see. Old business, forum, website, budget, anything new on that?
No,
Okay.
For the forum for next year, I noticed in the notes, the meeting minutes from last time, that we were looking at $600. But since we don't have a budget, do you want to wait until we have a budget before I actually go to the Park District and reserve a day in October? Probably need to wait, right? Or do we still have money from 2000? Budget was approved. Oh, it was? Okay, all right, so we're good. Do you want me to do that? Because I noticed it was in the minutes, but I don't know whether I'm supposed to
Yeah,
take
sure.
any action or not.
No, I think that would be fine.
Any day, any Saturday in October that's better than others?
Well, for me to be in attendance, it would have to be before, like, I don't know how many Saturdays we have in October
I
this year.
get you. 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th.
Okay, well, it would have to be before the 13th.
So
So
that's
the 6th.
one.
It's gotta be the 6th, yeah.
Okay, so it's.
And
good.
I know I won't be here on the 6th. Not, Bob's more important.
Are you,
Thank you. for
can you
saying-
make the 13th or you can't?
No, I wouldn't be able to make
Okay,
the 13th.
okay.
I pretty much know what my travel plans are in October.
In October still better than November? When are you back in November?
Well, then we'd be getting closer to Thanksgiving, which some people
Right.
have objected.
Well, if we
to.
could do you're not back till the middle of the month or so, November?
Yeah, I would probably be available, like, I don't know, I don't have a calendar, but probably like the second Saturday or so in November.
The 10th.
I think we had last year, I think we had it on the 12th.
It's 2 weeks before Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we didn't have much attendance either.
No, that was 2 years ago.
Oh, 2 years ago, I thought you meant.
Yeah, we had it on the 12th. Last year we had,
Last year, I'm thinking,
yeah, I'm sorry.
in 2016.
We had it on the 12th of November, if I'm not mistaken, and last year we had it on, what, the 3rd of December? Is that
Yeah, you're
correct?
right, something like that, yeah.
So we can go either way.
can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Mhm.
Maybe since we are putting these questionnaires together and the residents are our neighbors are starting to send in the questionnaires, and we've asked them, what would you like? I see a lot of people are really no particular month has been brought out except for October. Maybe we should wait
Sure.
a little bit and
Oh, I think
see
we got
what
time.
our neighbors have to say as to when they
Good idea.
would want to come. At least we would have an idea of the minimal amount of people that would
You're right.
attend.
We're gonna
Yeah.
get that information from them, we might as well use it.
And that's part of the reason.
So I don't think a month will make any difference in
No, I
terms
don't
of
think so either.
scheduling, so.
The deadline for this is like, what, May 15th or something?
So we should have a pretty good idea at our next meeting what,
It'd also help out with who we should have speaking.
Sure.
And if
Mhm.
we have a majority of the neighbors saying, well, we want the fire commissioner to speak, and we want to learn more about what it's going to cost us in taxes, and we want to do this and that, we can gear the forum this year to what the residents
It's a good idea.
want to hear.
Okay.
Perfect. It's part of the reason we did it, right?
So we'll talk about it, we'll put it on the
Yeah, put it
next
on
month's
the
agenda.
Next month, for the next meeting. By then, hopefully, we get some decent responses.
This is what responses are due, May 15th, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
15th.
And
So, yeah, that'll
how are
work.
we going to, we're not going to get copies of the mailed and faxed ones, right? We're just going to get the email ones before our next meeting? Is that
Well, I would
correct or
think
not?
we would have them all accumulated before, if, whatever's in before the 15th, we could come in, pick up, and kind of look over.
That's what I was hoping, that we'd have a chance to look at them before our next meeting.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping to do, too.
So the 15th, I believe, a Tuesday or Wednesday. The 19th would be the third Saturday of May. I don't know if
Don't
between the
give it
15th and
4
19th is not enough time. Do we need to push them, it's from May 19th to May 26th, this meeting? Or is that 4-day span when all of them are in?
That would be the Saturday, is that the Saturday of Memorial Day weekend?
That would be the 26th would be, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't think we want to do it on Memorial Day weekend.
It's fine with me.
So I guess we don't have any choice but to do it on the 19th, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's an issue. It's still 3-4 days to read through.
The
yeah.
19th, we're going to have our meeting on the 19th, is that what we're
That's
saying?
the regular meeting, yeah.
What if we, can we do this? I don't know if we can do this, but what if we turn that regular meeting, a brief
Into a
get
workshop.
together and do
Yeah,
a workshop
yeah.
and get together and,
Yeah, let's do that.
move through
Good idea.
the
Yeah, no, that would be,
questionnaires?
that would be
You're just full of
exactly
good
what we need
ideas
to do.
today.
Yeah,
You are full of good ideas today.
I must have had my Wheaties
She's the only one awake.
since 3:30 this morning.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, that's a good idea also, so I think I agree.
So we'll do a workshop on the 19th of May. Let's see here.
Oh, and just one more thing, did we ever, were we ever able to find out whether Rob Roy, not the residence clubhouse, but the big clubhouse, would want to host our forum?
That's part of the Park District, not Rob
Oh,
Roy.
okay.
That one that's
The,
by the golf
where they
course.
serve up the Friday
food.
fish
Mhm.
fries?
Yeah, that's part of the golf course.
Yeah. What do you think?
I can find out, when we do this, which would be after our next meeting.
Yeah.
She didn't mention anything about that being a possibility, so
Okay.
is that part of the Park District, or is that private? Rob Roy's not part of the Park District, is it?
No, we're
Okay.
separate, and then the golf course is separate.
Right, so it's the golf course,
It's the
but
golf
not the
course.
Park District?
Right.
Okay. Okay. Well, regardless, we're gonna wait until after our next meeting anyway, before we
Yeah.
start moving on in
Yeah.
terms of planning.
Okay. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get any of the surveys back because there was an email problem, which we just figured out. And so I'm wondering, some of you have gotten these?
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah.
So what do we?
What, maybe 15?
15 or 16 or so.
And they seem to be running about 50/50, don't they, or close to it? I haven't tabulated.
I've saved
but
them, I haven't
Just by
tab-
going through, I mean, there's people who say absolutely not, under any circumstances would I ever pay anything for water. And then there's other people who say, I think for the, on average, up to $1,000.
Really
So-
was interesting, and we're seeing both sides.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess maybe that's
For a
to be
small
expected.
for a
For small sampling size, yeah.
Yeah.
And it did go out to all the residents.
So, I don't know if this is a Peter answer, those electronic, are they being sent to the website? Is that, I saw a posting on Facebook, you clicked on, does that go to the website? Is it all via the website, basically, the online?
The survey is actually on the website, so it just directs them to the website. Once they complete the survey, and they submit it.
Submit.
In essence, they're emailing it to the water committee,
Oh, so that's how, when they press submit it, it
So
comes
it
to
goes
us.
to all of you.
Okay.
I'll fix the whole email situation, and myself, so.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're coming in, I mean.
Wouldn't you think
Couple of
about,
days.
about 50/50, give or
Yeah,
take
that's it.
10%?
That's one of my questions I want to bring is, how are we going to be tallying these and who's keeping track? And it sounds like we'll just do that.
We'll have to just, I guess we'll have to,
I mean, I have all the
Choose
emails, it's not going to be
categories.
difficult to tally before the workshop, at least the email side of things.
Well, the original survey, I think we did a couple of years ago, I think Ann did that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
She did a good job of tabulating that, did it on a spreadsheet. So if there's some way we can convert these questions to a spreadsheet, we might be able to do something like that. But that's won't happen
Right.
during the workshop.
no, we can come up with ways to sort them, though. I mean, you know, what, yes, $1,000, yes, $2,000, yes, three, I mean, that's just a
Right.
Yeah, it would
possibility.
be a spreadsheet kind of
Right,
thing.
and then there's other
Just-
things in there, what months are better for the forum, and, you know,
Yeah.
we're gonna have to maybe do a little thinking on that.
You know, what else I was noticing is, and it might be a nice idea, is when we do get these surveys back, to get an idea of the people that are really looking to receive more information about bringing in Lake Michigan water, if we can, I'm not real familiar with the streets, but if we can get an idea as to where in Prospect Heights people are starting to say, I can't deal with my water, I mean, I have to, but I can't, to get an idea of where those clusters are.
Which I guess is, we had, the original survey, we did that, right? When we had the
We
heat
have a
map.
yeah.
Be interesting to see with this new survey, if there's consistency and,
Yeah,
We can actually do that with well owners too, who wanna keep their own, there may be clusters of people who
Have good
wanna
wells.
get their wells tested, but maybe are reluctant for whatever reason. I mean, if they're, we talked before about assisting people in getting their, and helping them pay for their well. We have clusters of people, we might be able to go into an area and help those people take a water test, which also would give us a better idea of the quality of the water, because we'd have more than one or two samples
yeah.
in an area.
And I think we need to do a better job from what I'm reading in, and I don't know how we're going to put this out, is, you know, some of the results that came back said they've never tested their water and they don't know where to go, what to do, how to go about it.
oh, that's scary, I mean, that's
Well,
it's crazy.
I was thinking,
There's a
you
lot
know,
of new residents.
That's true,
too, I
that's true, that's true.
leaking it up to the block party, you know, I mean, it was a cute idea, this hydro coloring book and all that other jazz, but, you know, maybe that,
Well, this should give us some direction. I mean, that's what the
Right.
survey is gonna do. It's gonna give us direction on how to proceed, what areas of the community need assistance. So I
what to
think that's
put
really
out
gonna,
there. to
that's gonna
get-
make us, I think we're gonna get us hopefully some, enough input to be able to move on.
Right.
Um, Any other comments on the survey to date, other than that?
I think it's important to listen to what our neighbors are saying. You know, a lot of people are talking about taste or the smell. Now, that's not necessarily a water issue, right?
Well, water quality is also aesthetic, I think, you know what I mean, in terms of, it's not just whether it's harmful or whether it does damage to your fixtures and clothes, but certainly if you can't drink it, that's gotta have, that's an adverse effect on water quality.
But is it the water itself that smells, or is it the equipment that's processing the water that makes the water smell?
Well, if you're talking about a well, it's probably just the water.
My
Water
understanding is
itself?
the sulfur smell within the water, if it's got a lot of sulfur in it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a restaurant owner and you have to deal with that, you know, your patrons aren't gonna appreciate the odors, and it's gonna be like, I don't really want to eat here. So that's, you know, that, from a business standpoint, that's not attractive. Even individuals, I know, I don't like the smell.
So that's what I'm trying to figure out. I've never, you know, I always thought that if the water was stinky, you know, being a city kid, if the water is stinky, it has something to do with the equipment that it's traveling through, such as the water heater, such as that rod, you know, could be the reason that the water's stinky.
It could,
The,
that just brings it out, though, I think it's already there.
oh, okay,
You know what I mean? It's whether it kind of gets masked. And I think also when you're talking about water quality, even if all there is some sulfur in there that gives it the rotten egg smell, even if there's no other problems with the water, if it's okay other than that, just smelling that is gonna make you think that something's
Yeah.
more wrong
Oh,
with
yeah.
the water
Well-
than it really is. I mean, don't you agree? I know, and my water heater, I put that, when I had it replaced, they put the rod in, and it smelled so bad that I called them and they came and took the rod out and the smell went away. Now, I'm not sure how that works, but, why the rod would do that. Anyone else ever had that problem?
The odor? Yeah, I mean, when I used to have, well, yeah. Yeah, you know, you have to get the rod in there, and those rods, the water I had, the rods went pretty quickly.
It seems like, you know, it's been a while, and I may have forgotten, but it seems like that I had them take the rod out to improve.
Which is a common, if you
Is that correct?
Google this stuff, they'll say take it out, but then that also then decreases the life of
Right.
the,
Right.
and that's the issue at hand.
But in fact, that was 10 years ago, and my water
Good.
heater's still going,
Yeah.
so maybe I'm lucky, or,
As I understand, St. Al's is going to be hooking up to the city water system.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was mentioned at the meeting, the mayor's breakfast last week.
That be on to right the main right there, kind of off the infrastructure that you guys had?
Yeah, when we originally set it up, I arranged so that we went up to the school. That was me.
Oh.
We went up to the school, and they're finally going to be connecting now.
Because it's right there, so they just have to pay the connection fee.
Yeah, they just have to get connected.
are they, connecting at the end, are they responsible then for prorated construction costs or anything, or how does that work?
No, the infrastructure is in front. It's just up to them to connect, and the cost of connecting to the system, just like a resident. If a resident connected to the existing system, they have to pay to get the line run from the,
But that resident is also paying to have the line brought to their house.
that's what I'm
Is the
talking about,
church-
the length, the,
I know what you're saying.
From the street to
Well, if you have
the,
5 people and you have 100 feet of water main, each person, I would assume, would pay for 20 feet of water main, right?
oh, you mean, are they paying?
Are they
That
paying
original-
retroactively?
See, that's from a tax structure, and as I understand,
Oh, okay, no tax.
religious institutions don't pay for tax. I'm not sure how, property tax, but I'm not sure how the school would be.
You can go into both schools and,
They're all exempt?
and churches are considered tax exempt
Yeah, okay.
for property tax.
Yeah, I wasn't sure how that worked on the school portion of a religious institution, if that was treated differently, but,
So
As a private school, I don't know, but I know all the public schools around here, they don't pay property taxes.
yeah.
So the question is someone in your original SSA that never hooked up, they have been paying taxes on that
It's a
infrastructure?
private citizen, yes.
Right, and now they're gonna hook up, because they're a tax exempt entity, they never paid that extra tax, because they don't have to, but they will pay the hookup fee.
Oh, yeah,
That was
they
the
gotta
question,
pay, they have to pay for water. I mean, water's not a tax issue,
Right.
so they
Yeah,
pay for the
my
water
question was,
cost.
were they contributing in the overall
Right.
project, whether it be later or?
And the answer would be
At the same
no,
time.
because of
Right.
their
No,
status.
no, because from, a church or religious institution or city agency normally doesn't pay property tax.
So, was this mentioned at like mayor's breakfast or something like that? Where did you hear this? And I guess my question is, why? Did they state why they're hooking up?
Well, it wasn't part of the conversation for the
Formal.
speakers, but I was speaking with Fourth Ward Alderman.
Is there a reason why? Was there like, I'd be curious on the why behind it.
Well, years ago, it was because everything was getting worn out, and
Right.
they had to keep changing things, and they finally have the funding now where they can afford to hook
Gotcha.
up.
I think think it's strange they didn't do it in the beginning.
What was the financial problem? They didn't have the money to do that. From what I heard, the archdiocese or something didn't want to do it and didn't have the money, and so they decided not to do it. But as the well pumps wore out, they decided not to replace the well pumps. At one point, I think they had one well pump that wasn't working, but they were relying on one. Then they decided that it's not worth it, and now they have the money. I don't know. I'm not that involved in it. Let's see. Any feedback at Rob Roy? We've got a note in here. Part of the questionnaire, since everything went to the entire city. Have you gotten any comments from people within Rob Roy that have received this questionnaire?
No, I don't think there's any concern because they figured we have water, so there you go.
Well, the question always talked about savings and joining Mount Prospect suppliers and piggybacking and things of that nature.
Oh, we still talk about savings.
But there's no interest in any participation here other than yourself and Ralph? Or any type of subcommittee or any of that?
No, there is no, we are presently establishing a water committee within the Rob Roy complex.
Okay.
And our concern primarily would be saving some money.
Okay.
So you don't think maybe leaving a few, if everybody doesn't get this, leaving a few of these Prospect Heights Water Committee surveys in the clubhouse with
Well, if-
highlighted only if you have Lake Michigan Water complete this, you don't think that would be a good thing to do?
Well, it never hurts.
You know, you may get a few things, put a basket or something like that next to it.
I don't need a basket, we can just lay,
No,
Well,
let me
like,
design your space. You were gonna put a few things on the counter.
I'd
and
like
put a basket next
some
to it.
flowers too, please. I mean, but no,
Couple of bottles of water,
I'd be happy to take it and lay it on the counter.
you know, you never know.
Yes, I would be happy to take it and lay it on the counter.
Okay, so I'm assuming we have no subcommittee activity for the SSA or for the well to report on?
That is correct over here.
Nothing.
Any other business, or? do
Can we talk about things that aren't under new business? I think we can, can't we?
Yeah, I suppose we can.
I wondered whether we wanted to talk about meeting times and how often, also times of the day,
Oh,
as in, just as a discussion.
yeah, okay, we can do that.
I guess, are we okay with 8 in the morning? Not actually okay with it, I think the only reason that I would consider going to maybe 9 or something was that hopefully more audience people would show up, we'd have more.
Well, I mean,
Participation. I don't know.
if you think backing it up an hour, you want to try that for Saturday morning, I suppose we can try that.
It may not, may not make any difference. I was just kind of curious whether, it'd be nice to see, no offense, it would be nice to see, it would be nice to see more people here.
It's interesting, every so often I run across somebody and they talk about how they watch us on TV. So I'm just wondering, people just don't have the motivation to come.
It might
It's
be.
a matter of convenience, so even if you did it at 9, or you did, if we did it 3 times a week, the same meeting, we'd get, a few people here and there, but the majority are used to watching a recorded message.
I'm not pushing it for anything, change or anything, I was just, as a matter of discussion. Does anyone feel that it might enhance the participation?
I'm willing to try, moving it an hour, if that's come up before. I don't know if an hour matters.
I don't know either. That's why I'm bringing it up for discussion.
I mean, you certainly can do that,
Trouble is though, is that if you're going to change the time, it may take a couple of meetings for people to get into the fact that, oh, I thought it was at 8, oh, it's at 9 now. You know, people don't get that information right away, and I don't want to commit us to, 9 o'clock for forever, or for even for 6 months or something, but I don't know whether it would make a difference in a month.
I think the meeting times, we have flexibility, right, Peter? It's something we just have to declare.
I would have to look at it to see if, I don't think when you were created as a committee that they specified a time. I think you meet at the time and date of your leisure, of your choosing. So if we wanted to change it, or you wanted to change it from 8 to 9, that wouldn't be an issue. If there is an issue where we'd have to do it, say, change it by a resolution of that, in the interim, we just hold special meetings. We cancel the 8 o'clock and hold a special 9 o'clock meeting. So there's ways around it, but I think you pretty much have the right to hold a meeting anytime you want.
There's a way to do it, is essentially what I'm looking for. So what Peter's telling you is just reinforcing that, you can call a special meeting as opposed to a regular meeting if we had an issue or, that sort of thing. And publicizing it, you just have to put it in the announcements. And if people are following us, like the video, Patrick's, doing our video that's gonna be on TV. If people are watching this, they're gonna hear we're now gonna be 9 o'clock. So, do we wanna try 9 o'clock for the workshop next meeting, or do we wanna just leave it be because it's gonna be predominantly a workshop and we need the extra time? I mean, we can talk about it
Leave it
next.
for next time?
I
Leave it
I
alone?
vote to keep it at 8
Okay,
for the workshop. I think that's gonna take a little bit more time,
sure.
right?
I think, I would agree with you. I mean, that's where I would recommend is this time we could leave it at 8 and then we talk about, okay, here's what we're gonna do.
That's
For the
fine.
next meeting, we can do the report like at 9 o'clock.
Okay, that's good.
Maybe we'll do that.
From what I hear in my complex, they watch it on TV.
So it wouldn't make any difference. And it is nice to,
Well,
it's
you don't
early, but
see
it's
any
nice
of
to have enough time to get things done and still have some time left in the day to do things, which is nice. I mean, some of our, we spent 2 or 3 hours in meetings, certainly.
We've got a
So-
couple long ones, yeah.
So just bringing it up, and, I'm not really pushing in any direction on that one, so.
Well, the other thing is we can always call special meetings if we're gonna do certain things. Like if we end up doing, like on some of the questions I put we have at the end of our survey here that we sent out. If we have speakers like Baxter Woodman come out, maybe we would do it in a weekday on a special meeting and let people know, as opposed to a Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, I think that should be in an evening.
That's what I just
That's what
said.
he
We
said.
would do a special meeting in the
Right.
evening during the week or something.
That's interesting. So I just popped in my head, I know we have this forum. We're gonna do it this coming year. We didn't have great participation last year. Year before was excellent. We're bringing out these speakers, I guess, what if it was more of these special meetings, and we pub special meetings throughout the year in this facility with a speaker? I don't just, see where I'm going there?
Yeah,
As
no,
opposed to a forum?
Yeah, maybe, if this forum this year is a similar turnout, maybe it's just publicizing a special meeting, multiple special meetings throughout the year with individual speakers, that we would have all conglomerated at the forum, maybe do it at, a Wednesday, you see where I'm
Instead
going?
of having 12 speakers at the forum, you have one a month. I mean.
Just
for
a
the
thought,
year.
it just popped in my head off the cuff.
well,
but-
that's kind of
Yeah.
my thought process
Yeah.
by putting this out there is let's kind of see what the community says, and then maybe we have meetings where we have a speaker dedicated at each meeting to generate some interest in having people attend and start
These
thinking about the water. It'll be their opportunity to interact rather than just observe on a TV set.
Interesting.
Good idea.
Okay. Cool.
I guess I didn't explain,
Is that what you're
Any of
thinking?
that
Oh, never
in
mind.
my mind.
That was what you were thinking all along. Okay.
but I'm figuring that was what the intent was.
Because we've had discussion on meeting monthly, right? Is there value in doing that? Have we done our job, and we're getting to this point, what direction are we gonna go? that might be a neat thing to see where our goal is to hold monthly or bi-monthly, speakers of that sort to create that, awareness and momentum.
I think, well, by the time we are able to evaluate the responses from the survey, I think that's going to give us a lot of information on how to move forward.
Yeah, totally, definitely. Okay.
Let's see, now we've got a note on here under new business about a breakdown of present water charges was requested.
I requested that.
Okay, and has that,
I have not received it.
where did you request it to?
Peter?
And I apologize, Kate, for not following through on this and speaking with you. We do have the breakdown. How, what, maybe, and this information is already on the website, but we can maybe go in more detail. Is that what you're looking for? As far as what the individual charges are for?
Yes, we'd like to know what we're paying for because our water charges are high.
Okay, well, and it's broken down into the 4 different areas. I don't have it up, but there's a cost that we have to purchase the water, of course. There's a delivery charge, and that's
Yeah.
just simply the delivery of the water, and all the steps involved in that. There's an infrastructure charge, a debt, or I should say, a debt service charge, because the city had to put that infrastructure in, and unfortunately, we didn't have money to pay for it, so you have to take a loan out for that. The 4th one, I can't, off the top of my head.
Is that maintenance, isn't it?
I'm sorry?
Like future maintenance?
Yeah, so there's, exactly.
We used to get detailed. We would know what each home was using in water, because if there was a problem, we would react. You know.
Rob Roy, we only send out one bill, and it goes to the association.
Yes.
Now, has it always been like that?
No, it was different.
Oh, okay, so that changed with the association management? How did that change?
We just didn't get it anymore.
Okay, so I apologize, and I have to check this, do you know how long ago this change happened?
I am going to say almost a year. Well, I've been asking for quite a while.
No, the change where you had an individual bill and now it's on your
We-
assessment.
It was an individual, it was a sheet showing what each address would use for water.
So you.
We used to get a breakdown, yeah,
Excuse me, so you don't get individual bills for each homeowner?
for our water.
Yeah,
Of
I mean,
course.
you do. So I'm not following this.
Not from the city. What the city does is we charge, there's, I don't know, Faye, Kay, you could probably tell me, 700, Rob Roy?
Or 650.
600, okay. We send one bill to the
So there's no
management company.
individual meters on the route?
There are, but when we send that raw information to,
It all
To-
goes,
It sounds like a 2-step process.
well, for us, it's just a one-step process.
Right,
It
but-
just goes to
but for Rob
the
Roy-
the Rob Roy Condo Association management, whoever your management company is. And then they do that. So was that letter coming from your management company, or was it coming from the city?
I wasn't involved with it then, so I don't honestly know.
Okay, if you could do me a favor, and I apologize, I will get as much information as I can to break down the individual charges. But if you can find a letter, if you have one or one of your neighbors has one, of the breakdown that you had gotten, you said a year ago, I need to see that letter, because
Okay.
the city, that does not sound familiar, and I've only been involved in water since we did the finance change, since, well, it's going on a year.
Well, I'll get what I can.
Sure, I
And bring
appreciate
it.
that. If you can email that to me, so then this way, it gives me an idea of where to look, because that letter may be coming from your management company, that handles the utility billing. So, if that's the case, then I need to direct you to them. But if it's coming from the city and it stopped a year ago, I wanna make sure it continues. I wanna make sure that if you were getting information a year ago,
I'll find the.
that you're getting that information now, or a
Hopefully.
reason why you're not getting it anymore, which doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, just for my curiosity here, and I don't know if anybody else on the board, so you're telling me Rob Roy gets one master bill, they don't read the individual meters on each household?
No, they're red, but we don't bill individually. We give them one bill. And in that bill, it's got all the meter reads.
Oh, so they are separated out, they're not
Yeah,
getting
each-
a gross
yeah,
bill?
Yeah, like 4 units, or like 4 residences in a.
So then out of curiosity, why did the city choose to do that rather than individual, like us, we have individual bills at each household?
I don't know. Okay, I don't know, I
Easier
know
to
nothing
see
about Rob Roy.
than
It's
600.
And that could have been a Rob Roy decision. I don't know as the association.
That was before my.
Because the postage cost for mailing out those postcards is, I don't know,
$300, $350.
like 20 cents maybe each,
No.
because you get the
So it's
municipal
50
rate?
cents.
I'm just
No,
curious.
actually, probably for those, we pay full price.
Oh, you do pay full price on
Yeah,
those?
47 cents or 49 cents, whatever it is.
Okay, so that would be an extra
Yeah, those are
$300 a year.
The blue cards,
A month.
just like the sanitary sewer red cards.
I wasn't sure how the postage
Yeah, there's a
works.
regular postage stamp on that. Because, unfortunately, we have to do it that way. Versus
Versus
the
$6.
newsletter or the survey that we just did, which is direct mail, that postage is like 17 cents per piece. But if you look on that, it doesn't say Bob Corbus and your address on it, it just says postal customer.
Postal.
Yeah.
So when we target a mailing to you as a bill for sanitary sewer or water or whatever, that targeted mailing to your address, it has to go first class mail, which is the 49 cents.
Peter, what I'll do is see if I could find the old information, so you will have some.
Please.
And I'll also put together a list of what we're looking for.
Okay.
That may be helpful too.
And I apologize for not having information, but I'm glad we're having this discussion, so I want to give you exactly the information you're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds to me like there was something changed, Kay, and I don't know,
Oh, yeah, I
I'm
don't
assuming that the records of the water bills are somewhere in the city. I mean, they have to produce this report, don't they?
Oh.
What do you mean, when we do the water bill?
Yeah, when you send a water bill to Rob Roy, you send a master bill.
Well, what we do is we run a report
Right,
through
the
our billing
report's
system.
there, because you got all the meter numbers.
Yeah, we got the meter reads from the past readings. So what it does is, every month, because water billing is billed monthly, the system, our billing system, Cassell, which does all our utility billing, it has all the stored information from every water read that has transpired from that location, from that meter. So then, when we run a new report, it's everything from that last read to the new read. So that information, the amount of water that was used per meter in that period of time, from the last read to the current read that we're building on, that's the information for Rob Roy that we get that for everybody, but we run a report just for Rob Roy, and that gets sent to your management association, or the company that manages your association, along with the bill. And it's one big bill, but it's got all the meter reads on there.
Right, but I'm saying you have that on file to produce that
Well,
report.
yeah, it's saved, yes.
Yeah.
And we get that for every single utility customer.
Now, do you know, yeah, I'm asking a question, maybe you know, maybe you don't, but when they send out the individual bills to the residents that are not part of Rob Roy, like Lake Claire, like us, is there anything incorporated in the cost with respect to the postage automatically, or that just kind of blends in there? How does that happen?
How is the postage cost covered?
Yeah,
That would be part of either a delivery charge or the.
so it'd be incorporated into a
Oh,
delivery
absolutely, yeah.
charge?
It's anything that has to do with sewer, whether it be billing or billing costs or stamps or a piece of equipment,
Okay, well,
goes to
that's good.
sewer.
I just
Anything
wanna
that
know.
has to do with water gets paid through the
Yeah,
water.
I'm asking that because, speaking to the Rob Roy residents and to Kay here, so what they're saying in essence is they're saving about $300 on the total cost to Rob
Well,
Roy.
we don't have a problem with that. We just want to see the
Well,
old breakdowns again.
Yeah, so it sounds
One
like,
copy is
here-
fine.
here's your choice. Your choice is to get your association to share that with you. and then everybody sees everybody's bill, unless your association wants to spend the money to break it down and send out individual bills for privacy purposes.
Okay, but what I'm saying is, all we want to do is to see the bill.
Then you talk to your management company.
Well, we will.
Yeah.
And please, let me help.
What-
Any information you can get me, because I
We
think,
don't, we don't want individual bills, it doesn't matter, because we pay it as a whole. But we just
Well,
would like to see.
but what you're
what it
telling me
is.
is you want to see who's using more water.
We have
You all
done
play
that.
an even prorated amount of water?
Right.
So if you've got somebody who's got like four
Well, you
people
might
in a
have a
household.
leak.
Well, you might have a leak, that's correct, but what happens if you see that somebody is using more water? Do you have any animosity, like, hey, this person uses
No,
more water?
no,
I live
that
by
is-
myself and this guy's got four people.
That is not the intent at all, but if there is a leak, you want to act on it. If there's something going on someplace, you do want to act on it.
So you just take your bill and you divide it by the number of meters, and everyone pays the same? Is that how it works?
It's prorated, and because we have different size units.
Okay.
See, if that.
I know what you're
would be-
saying, right.
Yeah, that's not.
Here's
fair
somebody
and
who's
appropriate.
using 10,000 gallons of water, and I'm using 1,000, and I'm paying the same as they are. That doesn't sound right.
Well, but it's a community it's a community.
No, I understand.
It's not an individual house like yours or yours or yours.
I can see some animosity there, though. I mean,
No, there is no
Potentially,
animosity, it's
right.
just that we would like to act on it if,
Well,
and besides, we're
we're
entitled to
just,
see
we're
the
just,
bill.
we're playing devil's advocate here. If
I
I was living
noticed.
there, I wouldn't want to pay more money for my water because
Well, then
I know
you-
my bill would be less than the neighbor. That's all I'm saying. So it's kind of
Then you
weird.
shouldn't live in a community like mine. That's it. That's the way it is.
all right.
that's actually not uncommon. Chicago has done that for years.
For where?
For water.
For-
You pay the same rate as your neighbors pay.
Really?
Whether you had a swimming pool and 10 people living in the house, or you had one person. So,
Well, I suppose if you split it among 1 million households,
yeah, so.
that's not too bad. Splitting it among 600 maybe is a little different.
I get two water bills because I have a rental property,
Mhm.
and the rental property is almost twice what mine is because they have teenagers.
Right, and that's the way it should be.
So, you know,
I
that's
mean, you
why. I'm
can't have
looking at
somebody
the-
go out and water their lawn, and you end up paying, you're paying for it if you don't water yours, or if you
Or
don't
if you don't have a lawn, yeah.
Right,
So,
okay, learn something new every day.
that was interesting.
Very interesting.
But we'll work together, okay?
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
not
you.
living in Round.
Yeah, you guys can do what you want. I was just found it
Oh,
interesting.
you know, we will.
I know you will.
But yeah,
If I ever move in there, then I'll say
it's a
something.
shared, it's,
Thinking the same thing.
it's a shared, it's a community
just
like
use
that.
more water.
There are some
Yeah.
things you share.
Well, yeah, it certainly doesn't allow for conservation. It's like, well, you know what, I'm paying all this money, and this guy's, my neighbor here is using, I'll just use as much water, I'll just let the thing run. You know, I mean, it really doesn't.
So I get my 10,000 too.
Yeah, that's right, yeah, I know. That's
Gee, I'm glad we don't have people like you.
I run that
How do you
hose
know?
over my
That's right.
How do you know?
I'm going to Arizona, I'm just gonna leave the tap flowing here. for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, when the toilet doesn't stop running while I'm gone for a month.
Oh, man.
Okay, so we accomplished taking care of that topic. Do we have anything else?
As far as next steps, I think it's gathering the data from the survey, May 15th 's the deadline, and putting together some of that data. I think it's the next big move here,
Yeah,
right?
how to sort it or interpret it so that it produces information for us to be able to move on.
Which
Because we are gonna get a lot of information.
I'm sure everyone would prefer to have some data collected and organized before we sit down at the workshop on the 19th, as opposed to sitting down and then organizing it,
Yeah,
right?
well, certainly ideas, yeah.
Is anybody here very good at Excel spreadsheets?
I know how to summate on them, that's about it.
I probably could get some time to put something together for you. I'll go through
Thank you.
the actual questions on there and see if we can
Right,
put it in
do it.
spreadsheet format.
Because I was gonna,
I'm not gonna be able to put all the information in the spreadsheet for you, but I should be able to get you to a point where you have a product that you can actually input the data into.
Yeah, I mean, if you could do that, it'd be great, otherwise I'd arrange.
I should be able to, it shouldn't
I'd
take
arrange,
that long.
okay, if you can do that, it'd be great, Peter, otherwise, that's why I was asking for volunteers. Last time Ann did this,
Yeah,
I'll-
I mean,
did an excellent job.
I'll put something together and I'll email it out to everybody so
Okay.
you can take a look at it. I would recommend though that one person, be like the,
I was gonna say, I think for the online inquiries, I have them all in my email.
okay.
If you got me that template, I'd be happy to plug in the online data into it.
And then if someone else was like at the master for the paper copies, or however I wanna do it, when you have an Excel spreadsheet and multiple people are
Mhm.
using different spreadsheets, as long as it's in the same format, you can merge together, it's not a problem.
Unless you're on a server.
But the more people you have dealing with something, the greater
Right.
risk there is of
Yeah.
contamination or, screwing up the data.
So I'd be happy to do that. I'll just wait on the template from you, and then, like you said, right now, there's maybe 15 or 16 in the hopper that I could, go through, plug in.
And as they come through, and I'll fix your email issue, Bob, but as they come through, do you just take that information and add it in?
You got it, you got it.
Okay, good.
I'd be happy to do
So
that.
Sean, you'll take care of the electronic portion of the spreadsheet.
And I guess, I'm sorry, make a comment. So then the workshop in May, the goal of that workshop then is to digest the data and use it to think about what we're gonna do going forward?
Yeah, I mean, to kind of analyze it, maybe wrap it up, I don't know what as far as putting everything on a spreadsheet, if we'll be able to do that, and then we can kind of digest the data. Now, it's not going to be completed like we did the mapping,
Right, we won't have the mapping, right?
and that took some time last time
Yeah.
to create this type of a map.
Well, that's part of the workshop. I mean, we're gonna end up with a lot of raw data, and we have to decide how to interpret it, or how to
What's important?
assemble it, or
Okay,
Yeah,
what-
so that
what
we
to get
can
out of it.
prepare a report for the following
perfect,
meeting that
Okay.
we have, which would be June.
Good.
July.
In other words, what are you going to do with it, right?
exactly, yep. Yeah,
Yeah, then we can report to the community where we are this year compared to 2.5 years ago, or 2 years ago.
curious about that.
Because it's been rather quiet. Anything else?
Are we going to participate in the June 23rd block party?
June 23rd block party.
We've done it, what, 2 years in a row now, Jean?
Mm-hmm.
I suppose we could.
I mean, we have,
We have a banner, we
so
have.
we have the infrastructure for that, just to,
Well, we had a tent. We had a tent last year, right? Or
I
at
think
least
there
a-
was a canopy there.
and,
we borrow Sandy, was that
That
Sandy
was
Strickers
the-
though?
Borrowed
He
same.
was on the
was.
SSA subcommittee.
Yep.
We have money in the budget, I suppose, if we wanted to buy one, that's a possibility. We've already used, this is our 3rd year in a row, I think we've set a pattern.
Okay.
We already have a banner to put across the front, and then it's a matter of, Dee, I know last year we had all kinds of handouts and coloring books for the kids and things like that. We probably ought to look at that. See, and
We did.
she's anticipating everything today.
Peter, is there a time frame where we have to say we're going to be part of the block party, or is that just automatic?
I don't know, I would speak with Christina.
And the other thing is there's community days too, which I think last year we didn't participate in because we didn't have enough time. So,
That's the
Yeah.
2nd of June.
yeah, that's coming up pretty fast too. There's a pancake breakfast, I believe, and some other things.
Just on the
And
corner.
that's at the fire department? Is that where it is?
Mhm.
I think a lot of other committees, if I'm not mistaken, did participate in that last year. We didn't get the notice until late, so we didn't, but we might want to consider it.
But we did have someone there.
Or you know
Someone
what?
was there and said, and hey, what was it like?
That's right,
And-
I do remember that. Somebody
um,
went there and we had somebody go and evaluate whether they
Yeah, it was
thought
an
we should.
evaluation.
And
whether
I don't
we
know,
should,
I know it wasn't like a resounding, oh my gosh, we need to be there, but it wasn't a, don't do it. I don't recall, it was
Yeah, I
a,
don't either.
maybe,
Have to go back through the notes.
yeah. That would be in there somewhere.
So the reason I bring this up is because,
Oh, why are you bringing it up?
let me tell you.
Well, what I'm getting at though is if we decide, our next meeting is what, June? or
May
May?
19th.
May 19th,
That doesn't give us
right?
much time, that
Right.
gives us a couple of weeks
Right,
before
that's why
that community days happens.
I'm,
So,
I'm almost thinking block party.
Yeah,
Put our efforts into the block party? Okay.
okay.
I mean, that's my,
Well, I'm anticipating that I'm going to get an email from Christina
yeah.
at the Park District asking if we want to participate. You want me to just tell her we're going to put our efforts into the block party? And, I mean, is that,
Yeah.
otherwise we have to wait and give her, we can't tell her whether we're going to come till 2 weeks before, if we wait until the next meeting.
Yeah,
Is that okay with everyone?
I'm fine.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Okay. But, what was the date of the block party, Peter, did you say?
The
June
June
23rd.
23rd.
Okay. When do we have to let someone know that we are going to participate in that? Is that Christina again?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That would, you would need to go to Christina or,
well then,
table and all that, so.
okay, well, why don't I, yes, block party, no
Mhm.
community days.
Yeah.
Okay, I will take care of that.
Thank you.
Dee, did you have something then with that? Yeah.
I was hoping that we could get this reprinted again.
If you don't, please, do not leave without talking to me. I have a bunch of stuff upstairs we want to go through.
Awesome, thank you.
Just for the record, I know I'm out of town on June 23rd, so I won't be able to attend.
I don't know, I don't have a calendar.
All right. Anything else?
Mm-mm.
So do we move to adjourn then, to our workshop next month? Yeah, I get a motion?
I motion to adjourn.
Second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.